You've heard the stats. Information is exploding, with volume growing 39% year over year. Not only that, but according to IDC, by 2017, more than 79% of information shipped will be unstructured. You know, PowerPoints, emails, and instant messages. You might think of this information explosion as a massive storage problem. Most organizations do, and they expend an inordinate amount of resources trying to retain all of this new information. But the real problem is something entirely different. It's a value problem. Specifically, it's about organizations' inability to realize the business value of information, or BVOI. World-class organizations are overcoming this challenge by embracing a concept called information governance, a systematic approach for classifying, retaining, and discovering information. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If your organization is like most, you've kept as much enterprise information as possible because you believe that as long as you had it, over time you'd derive a benefit from it. Essentially, the fear of not having certain information available in the future was simply too much to bear. You've also expected that as information grows, you would organically be able to extract positive value just by storing it. Unfortunately, this conventional model of saving everything is actually creating challenges that diminish your organization's ability to realize that value. First, it makes it virtually impossible to identify information. If you can't understand what information you have and where it is, you're unable to determine whether it's important or not, without a clear understanding of data ownership and business relevance. The information just keeps piling up. The explosion of unstructured information, coupled with the widespread use of mobile devices and social media, has exacerbated this problem by preventing administrators from easily identifying file users or owners. And with the proliferation of cloud storage repositories, companies have lost the line of sight to where their information actually is being stored. In fact, 65% of employees admit to using enterprise file sync and share apps without the permission of their employer. So, even if you know what information you have and where it resides, how do you actively control access so that confidential data remains confidential? In the store everything world, data isn't the only thing that has exploded. The number of folders, directories, and SharePoint sites has also grown tremendously. Each of these repositories requires its own access control list, turning oversight into a manual and time-consuming process. To streamline this workload, many administrators simply assign global access to all users. While this approach frees up admin time, it introduces tremendous risk to the organization. Recent IBM research identified that human error accounts for 30% of all data breaches. So if organizations are entrusting 100% of their employees with access to company secrets, then there is a strong likelihood that one of those team members may accidentally expose data in ways they shouldn't. Alternatively, organizations may choose to do nothing at all about access control. As a matter of fact, a recent Ponymon survey highlighted that only 48% of companies use access management tools to manage permissions for their unstructured information. The systematic failure to control for access and permissions compromises an organization's ability to gain value from their information. And even if you do know what information you have, where it resides, and who has access, you don't always know how to assess it and what to do with it. What action do you need to take so you can ensure your organization can glean the most value from it? In fact, the majority of your organization's information is not valuable. Storing unnecessary data brings down your ability to realize the expected business value of your information. According to a recent Gartner report, it costs $5 million a year to store and manage 1 petabyte of information. That means a large business with 10 petabytes spends about $50 million per year on storage. Research from the Global Databird report suggests that as much as 33% of your data is ROT, which means that large businesses are wasting as much as $16.5 million on data that should be deleted. All this points you on a downward trend. Instead of effectively taking advantage of your information, not having the appropriate information governance strategy in place decreases the overall value you're able to realize over time. We call this divergence the information value gap. This gap increases IT costs, makes it more difficult for you to meet legal and compliance standards, and even puts you in jeopardy for leaking sensitive corporate information. But it doesn't have to be this way. By taking a different approach and proactively deploying an information governance strategy, you can reclaim the business value of your information. Here's how to get started. First, you want to understand what data you have in your organization and where it is. You need complete visibility into your information profile to grasp the potential cost and risks, especially of unstructured data. If you know what you have, you can make well-informed governance decisions. By highlighting the potential costs and threats, you can start to initiate conversations with the appropriate business units to solve issues before they become serious concerns. Once you know what information you have and where it is, you need to take action. You want to analyze the data and determine what you can and should do with it. To accomplish this, you need content and context-aware tools that analyze the business value and provide administrators with insights that enable them to make informed decisions about what to do with the information. With this understanding, you can proactively uncover opportunities to decrease risk, save money, and prioritize your resources. Finally, now that you know what actions to take with your data, you want to create sustainable, company-wide information policies and controls that hold your business units and workers accountable for governing their information. Having the appropriate controls in place ensures you will have a repeatable approach for realizing the value of your information over time. This is what best-in-class companies are choosing to do. They're taking a stepwise approach to information governance. They're reclaiming more and more of the business value from their information and closing the value gap. And they're doing all of this through a single, integrated solution. Veritas Information Governance delivers real-time insight into an organization's information footprint and empowers information leaders to make decisions about what to protect and what to delete. By synthesizing intelligence across unstructured data sources, Veritas simplifies the journey toward better control and ensures that organizations are best positioned to counter information risk. Only with Veritas are you truly prepared to combat the exponential data curve, close the information value gap, and arm your organization with the tools to realize the full business value of your information.